I'm thinking namely of the EU monitoring mission in Georgia, and to which extent will it remain in duty if the Russian troops goes beyond Abkhazia and South Ossetia? I mean, what is the ability of this entity to operate in terms of if the conflict escalates further?
Okay, George, thanks. That was about Georgia, Hamira, so it suggests that you should be the one to answer that question, please. And Esmira, I'll ask you to answer in a moment the second question. But Hamira, can I have your answer to that one, please, about the monitoring mission, EU monitoring mission in Abkhazia and South Ossetia?
Sure. First, I would like to say I'm originally from Azerbaijan. I'm not really from Georgia. That's why I've been criticizing the organizers for not providing the representation.
We're big enough to take your criticism. That's on board. But I'm sure you can answer the question nonetheless.
Coming back to the question, we have been saying for many years now that the monitoring missions are being criticized by the local population in Georgia and by politicians and by civil society due to its ineffectiveness. Since I forgot the name of the person who asked the question, but he is right.
Jules, yeah.
Jules, yes, he is right. Russian troops are moving slowly, step by step, more into the territory of Georgia. And so there was also a question to me, why the loss of credibility of Europe in European institutions in the Caucasus, and especially in Georgia? It is specifically because the failure of these kind of missions. It is the failure of the tries to broker peace agreements between opposition and the government during the Georgian political crisis. Yeah. It is the not receiving the expected support during the war in 2008.
And wanted to know on what spectrum do we consider Abkhazia and South Ossetia as frozen conflict when we witness creeping borders, abductions, disappearances, and so on, and how it is still considered as frozen conflict when there's violation of fundamental human rights every day taking place there.
So again, that was a question on Georgia, Esmira, but you know a lot about the region in general, and it is an interesting question about to what extent, even when there's no fighting, bad things are still happening on the ground, and how we keep, I suppose, the international spotlight on those sort of human rights abuses and violations and so on. What's your take on that?
Well, thank you. Yes, it's a question about Georgia, but I can answer in principle. And I truly agree and completely agree with what you said in the beginning, that there is no idea of a frozen conflict. Yeah. Not a single frozen conflict is indeed a frozen. We can call them unresolved conflicts, whatever, but they're not frozen. And as I said also in my intervention later on, the universal principle of support for territorial integrity and sovereignty of one state should not be selective. If we are supporting this principle, which is the cornerstone and the milestone of the current international world order, we should support it equally, and this right should be universal and not selective. And the same I can say about the conflict in Georgia. So territorial integrity, support for sovereignty of states, this right should be universal and apply to all three states in South Caucasus as well, including Azerbaijan, all over the world as well.